Hello everyone! In this video, I would like to show you how to create a new family in Revit on example of cylindrical stool. So I want to create something like this, okay? So how to do it? The first thing, we need to create a new family. So we go to File, New, Family, and right here, we need to find English templates. Okay, so when I open it, you can see program data, Autodesk, Revit 2006, and family templates. And I select English, and we need to find template called metric generic model. This one. This is the most basic template that you can use for, I don't know, like 90% of all the elements that you want to create in Revit. So we select this one and hit open. How to start? We want to create something really basic. So right now we are going to use extrusion tool, which works in a such way that you draw a sketch in a floor plan or in any reference plane, and then you just extrude it into 3D. So we select extrusion. We just draw the circle. Let's say, I don't know, something like 200 millimeters in or 400 millimeters in diameter, and then we finish it. When we go to 3D, we can see that we already has this cylindrical stool. We can change some dimension and so on. So let's try to load it into project. So the first thing we need to do is to save it somewhere, and we need to give it a name. So let's say cylindrical. We can leave it as a taburet. So cylindrical taburet, and we save it. And now when we load it into project, we can place it somewhere. So when you go to 3D, you can see that we created something. And if you try to find it, you can already type cylindrical taburet and you can already see it there. Okay, so we created a basic mess, but what if we want to be able to change the dimensions directly here in the project? So we need to edit the family again. So either we can select one of these tabs here, or we can double click on the family, or we can select it and click on edit family. All of these ways we get into the family editor. And the first thing I want to edit is to be able to change the diameter of this tool. So we need to prepare some parameters, but before that we need to assign a category to this family, because right now it's just generic model, but in the project we want to find it under category called furniture. So the first thing we need to do is to click here, family, category and parameters, and we change it from generic models to furniture, so it's easier for you to find it in the project browser. And also it has some of these categories have specific like appearance in 3D and section and views, so it's better to select the right category. So right now we select furniture, and now we can create some parameters that we can use in the project. So we click on this button here, family types, and you can see that we already have parameter called height, which is built-in parameter, which we automatically acquired because we changed the category to furniture. So the next parameter we need to create is diameter. So I click here to create a new parameter. I give the name called, let's say, parameter. And in this case, let's try to use instance. I will show you what is the different between instance and type, but right now just leave it as it. We have the name, we have discipline, we have length, which is right, and just change it to instance. You can see that this one is instance because you have default in brackets next to the height. If you click here, you can see that it's type. It has nothing after the name. So now we have two parameters that we can use. First thing I want to do is to edit this sketch so we can change the diameter. So we double click or we select the 3D element and click on edit extrusion. And the first thing I want to do is to lock it so it is always in the center of the family, because this is the origin of the family. So if you click somewhere, this is the point which you use. So I want to make sure that this circle is aligned with the origin of the family. And how to do it? The easiest way is to show center mark. So when we click here, you can already see this cross, which is the center of the circle. And now I want to lock it to these reference planes. So the easiest way is to click here to select align, click to the reference plane and click on the center. And if we want to lock it to always follow the center, we click on this small lock button here. If we want to save some time, let's say you have to lock a lot of elements, you can use a lock here when you are clicking on align, and it will automatically lock the element to the selected reference plane. And the next thing we need to do is to assign the diameter parameter to the circle. So the easiest way is to find diameter dimension. You click on the circle, you select the dimension, and right here in label, you change it from none to diameter. Okay, so now if you change it here, or when you finish the sketch and go here, you can change it there. You hit OK, and it will automatically change. The same thing we can do in the project. And the second thing I want to be able to edit is the height of the stool. So I go to one of these elevations, let's say front, and let's create another reference plane like this one. So go to create, select reference plane. I create a new one. The distance doesn't matter right now. And we need to create dimension between reference level and this new reference plane. So we click here, select align dimension, and we go from level to there. And we need to assign the parameter again. So we select the dimension, we select height. Let's change it to, I don't know, 450. And now we need to edit this cylinder so it always follows the height. So we use this arrow here, move it over the reference plane, and when we see the lock icon here, we click. Do the same down here, lock it. And now I think we can load it into project. So we click on load into project, we override the existing version, and it changed some parameters there. And now I try to show you the difference between type and instance parameters. So when I copy there, and let's say I select two of these tools and go to properties, you can see that there is a parameter called diameter. This is the one that we assign as a instance. All the instance parameters you can see right here in properties. What does it mean? If you change this instance parameter, it only affects the elements that you had selected. Okay, so let's say if I change it here, it will only edit these two elements. But if you want to edit the type parameter, which was the height parameter, you have to go to edit type. And right here you can see the height. So if we change it to 600 and we hit apply, you can see that all of them changed. if you want to have multiple heights, you need to duplicate or rename these types. So let's say we want to have one which height is, I don't know, 500. So let's type 500. We change it here. And let's create another one with height 600. Change it here again. And hit OK. So if we choose these two and we change them to height 500 and we select these two and change it to 600, they will follow the type parameter. So let's say if we select this one, go to edit type, and we edit it here to 800, it will change all these elements that have the same type. Okay, so this is the only difference, and there is like no way, or there are no rules which is right or wrong. It's usually up to you. If you need to edit some of these parameters like frequently for each element separately, use instance parameters. If you want to like edit some parameters for like tens or hundreds of elements, use type. Okay, so it's up to you. You have to think about it a little bit, and there are like no rules. Okay, what next? I want to be able to change material there, and I want to split this element into two parts. So if I go to there, you can see I want to have two parts, and to both of them I want to be able to assign a different material. So how to do it? I edit the family again, I go to front view, I create new reference plane here, let's say down here. Let's create another parameter, let's call it height, I don't know, bottom. Let's keep it as type, and let's say, I don't know, can give it 200. And we need to assign it here. So let's say height bottom, and one of these we move down, we remove constraint and we lock it. We duplicate it, so Control C, paste it on the same place. So we are creating another cylinder here. So we have, right now we have two of them. And let's say we want to have a different diameter down here. So when I open it, you can see that there is still diameter, the first one. So let's create a new one called, let's duplicate this one and call it bottom. And we can assign it here. So when we select the dimension, we can change it to diameter bottom. So we can have different dimension down and up. So let's say 250, so it will be a little bit smaller. Okay, so you can edit it the way you wish. And now we need to create two materials for the top and bottom part. So when I go to family types, I create two more parameters. It will be material top. We need to change data type to material, and let's change it to instance, for example. Duplicate it. Let's create a second one called bottom, and just leave it as it is. And now we need to assign these parameters to these two cylinders. So we select this first one, we go to properties, and you can see parameter called material. So you click here on this small button and you select that it's material bottom. You click up here and you select material top. You load it into project. Right now, please select the override the existing version and its parameters, like that. Perfect. And let's assign some materials. So For example, let's select this one. We can go here and click there on this small button here. And let's say we want to assign something like, I don't know, copper to the top and something different. Oh, it was the bottom, doesn't matter. And let's assign, let's say, glass to the top. So now when we change it to consistent colors, it has a different color, but the bottom one is not working very well. So let's try to create some materials for this one. So let's say the top will be yellow, something yellow. So click here, create new material. So just call it fabric yellow. And let's go to appearance and let's try to find yellow fabric. Fabric, let's say this one. And the bottom can be, I don't know, for example, wood. Let's try to find something like a wood. So create new material, rename it, fabric. Oh no, let's say wood, and go to appearance. Let's try to find wood, for example, cherry. Perfect. And right now we are in the top, so find fabric. So select fabric, and for the bottom let's select wood. Yeah, I think this one. And still we don't see anything when we are in a consistent colors, but we already have something in textures. So let's check the materials again. So we need to go to graphics, and right now we don't have any color here, so we can use render appearance. The same thing can do with fabric. So like fabric, use render appearance, and we go back to wood. Where is it? This one. So now you should be able to see it in a shaded mode too. So this is the way. So I think that's all for this video. So I hope you learned something, and see you next time.